Hello and welcome to the Met Office 10-day trend. If you've been following these 10-day trends since the start of spring, you'll know that sometimes we can predict weather patterns out to 10 days with relatively high confidence, and that's because the weather patterns often have been fairly slow moving because of large areas of high pressure. But that's all changed. The jet stream has returned to our shores, and over the next 10 days, that jet stream will throw a bit of a wobble. What looks most likely is that it will be humid at times, but the jet stream will often bring in mixed weather, certainly over the next 7 days. But by the middle of next week and through to the end of next week, the exact position and shape of that jet stream is highly uncertain because it depends on subtle changes in weather patterns on the other side of the world over the next few days. More on that in a moment. For Wednesday night and into Thursday at least, well, we do know where weather fronts are going. It looks likely that this cold front will clear its way southeastwards, bringing a spell of wet weather for East Anglia in the southeast by Thursday lunchtime, and clearing to fresher air further north and west, sunshine and showers. Plenty of sunshine for Friday morning up and down the country. Possibly the last widespread sunshine we see for some days, because the cloud then thickens for western Scotland and Northern Ireland, and it turns increasingly unsettled. A wet end to Friday in the northwest, cloud building elsewhere, and if you follow that trail of cloud all the way back, you can see it becomes wrapped up in these areas of low pressure, which, well, there are two areas of low pressure. One of them comes from the other side of the world, and one of them comes from the subtropics, and it's this one that is causing a bit of a headache for forecasters. And it's important that it comes from the subtropics because for three reasons. One, these things are difficult to predict because they are small bundles of energy. They can throw a spanner into the works, and exactly where and when it will provide rainfall for the UK on Saturday is open to doubt at the moment. But what looks most likely is that Saturday will start off dry, there'll be some sunshine, and it will stay largely dry in the south and the east. But further north and west, the cloud will thicken towards the end of the day, and I wouldn't take the position of this rainfall too literally, but what looks most likely is that Saturday night will end up with some wet weather for southern Scotland, northern England, North Wales and Northern Ireland, and then that will slowly clear away at the start of Sunday. Another reason these subtropical lows are important is because they contain a lot of humidity. That translates on Sunday as a lot of cloud cover across the country. We will see some breaks and plenty of fine weather in the south, and where we see some sunshine, temperatures could just jump up to 27 degrees. So it will feel humid and very warm, and even in the north, once that rain clears, low 20s, Scotland and Northern Ireland. That humid air also pushing the jet stream to the north into the start of next week. So, like I say, a lot of fine weather as we begin Monday, but further weather systems push in later across northern parts of Britain. So mixed weather here, rain and showers, high pressure closer to the south on Monday and Tuesday, and we've still got this warm air hanging about across southern Britain. Cooler air, though, then starts to push in around the middle of next week as the jet stream just oscillates up and down across the country. And some computer simulations have that jet stream continuing to affect our weather fairly mildly over the next 10 days, with it jumping up and down across the country at times in a fairly flat pattern. But other computer simulations are picking up on something that's happening thousands of miles away over to the west of the North American continent. This big ridge in the jet stream here could start to happen. And if that happens, well, it will have big downstream consequences on the weather at home, because this ridge will then ripple all the way across North America, the North Atlantic, and end up close to the UK. Now, if we end up on the south of this ridge, we'll have similar weather to what we had earlier in the summer, the heat wave, the dry, the heat, the high pressure. But if we end up to the north of the jet stream, well, we'll end up with very unsettled weather. And so huge uncertainties in terms of whether the weather will stay fairly changeable and mixed over the next 10 days, or whether towards the end of next week that jet stream will just become very amplified and the weather patterns will become stuck once again. And this uncertainty is highlighted in this temperature graph for Leeds. So these are the days out to 10 days. You've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week, and the red colour here is the maximum temperature. And the closer together these boxes, these are the error bars, the closer together, the more certain we are about the temperature. But you can see how by Wednesday next week, the error bars become very large. Temperature scale here indicates that by next Thursday, well, some computer simulations give high 20s and some computer simulations give 15 degrees, a 14-degree range, 14-degree error bar by the end of next week. So very uncertain into next week. Most likely it will stay fairly mixed in the north and it will often be humid in the south. A lot of dry weather. Worth emphasizing if you are planning holidays at home, it's not going to be a washout. And it could turn hot again by the end of next week, but it's all dependent on that jet stream, which is dependent on weather patterns on the other side of the world that haven't happened yet. So still always worth paying close attention to the latest forecast on the Met Office website and through our app.